Well, yesterday's video is done, and look, I knew, there'd be some things in there people didn't like, but, sometimes the truth hurts. And look, at the end of the day, I'm glad people in the comment section were, having fun with it and using logic and evidence to back up their claims. I can't even say that with a straight face. Look, anyway, yesterday's video is done. Moving on to today's video. When last we saw Skirk, she not only gave us long overdue information on the Gnosis. See, it's Gnosis. It wasn't Gnosis, it's Gnosis. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. But she also name dropped 3 important individuals.
His name is Surtalogi.
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. Some master is insufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name The Fowl?
The Fowl?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary? Vedrfolnir then? Or Gold Rhinedottir?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhinedottir's part of the Hexen Circle. She's albedo's mom, right?
Her master, the Fowl Surtalogi, the Visionary Vedrfolnir, and Gold Rhinedottir. But who exactly are these 3, and what role have they played in the story? Well, to start, they all seem to come from Khaenri'ah. Rhinedottir is the only one confirmed to have come from Khaenri'ah, but the only reason I say the other 2 are also from there is because they were all mentioned in the same breath, and all Khaenri'ah names are either Norse or Germanic in nature. Rhinedottir, Dainsleif, Ermin, Alberic, and the names Surtalogi and Vedrfolnir are no exceptions. Not much is known about Surtalogi or Vedrfolnir, but we do have a heap of knowledge on the witch Rhinedottir. Starting off, Surtalogi, also known as the Fowl, is Skirk's master. He's the owner of the all-devouring narwhal, and according to Skirk, is seeking some form of perfection. In addition to this, no, I guess that's all we know about him. Reading between the lines, Surtalogi is also someone who's comfortable in the abyss, and he's no doubt an exceptional fighter, being Skirk's master, and has knowledge of this world's secrets, including that of Descenders. On the topic of Descenders, it really makes you wonder who came up with that and who listed the Descenders known right now, seeing as it's now been used in 2 different scenarios. One with the Fatui, and now one with a Khaenri'ah who spends a lot of time in the abyss. In addition to that, Skirk mentions that like Rhinedottir, Surtalogi is seeking some form of perfection. What she means by this is still a bit of a mystery, but it might have something to do with the art of Chemia. The art of Chemia is a form of alchemy that was used in Khaenri'ah. While normal alchemy is focused on transformative properties, for instance turning silver into gold, the art of Chemia was focused on the creation of life. The only person known to have mastered the art of Chemia was Rhinedottir, and with it she created a whole host of beings, from rift wolves to Durin to albedo. Pursuing some form of perfection probably has different meanings for both Rhinedottir and Surtalogi, but the fact remains that their form of perfection is probably not approved by the ones above and is often extremely destructive in nature. The art of Chemia was one of the major reasons Khaenri'ah was nuked, and Surtalogi harbors an otherworldly creature in a realm that is directly opposite to the natural order of this world. Had Nervalet not regained his full power, the whale would have drowned to that and swam off to another world. While I'm sure either Celestia or Surtalogi would have stepped in before it got to that point, the fact still remains. Both of these 2 forms of perfection result in disaster. Rhinedottir is called the Great Sinner for her actions in Khaenri'ah, and none seem more responsible for the disaster than her, and Surtalogi, it seems, just tried to one-up her with the whale. In any case, we already mentioned her, so let's talk about Rhinedottir. Gold was, or is, we don't really know where she is right now, an alchemist from Khaenri'ah, and like I stated earlier, the only master of the art of Chemia. She's a member of the Hexen Circle, and while her exact role in the Cataclysm remains unclear, she had in essence been playing God, giving life to many creatures such as Elinas, Durin, rift wolves, and everyone's favorite, the Golden Wolf Lord. She's been called the Great Sinner, and this is more than likely due to her pissing off Celestia by creating so many different forms of life, many of which come from the abyss. Following the destruction of Khaenri'ah, she picked right back up where she left off and created Albedo, before leaving him with instructions to find Alice and find the truth of this world. So you can see how problematic both Surtalogi and Rhinedottir's forms of perfection appear to be, as in tandem they've damn near wiped 2 nations off the map. Gold's form of perfection seems a little easier to ascertain than Surtalogi, as she loves creating life. As such, it seems reasonable to assume she's trying to create some sort of super nigga that might be able to do something? I want to say defy the natural order of this world, but that seems a little too mission focused. Like, her German Nietzsche Ubermensch ideology aside, it seems like she might have achieved what she set out to do by creating Albedo, which she thinks is her best creation. Of course, even with Albedo, there's still the worry he's gonna summon his inner German and go cowabunga on Mondstadt one day, so the question still remains. She wants to create the perfect being, but for what reason? Furthermore, this line of thinking is essentially what our good old pal the Dr. Dottore is doing. He too is trying to create a being that can transcend human limits, but he just sort of chooses to do this by experimenting on already living people as opposed to creating them. This might have something to do with him understanding how Celestia detests people who create life, or he's just pure evil. He's probably just pure evil, but take your pick. In any case, there's one name left we haven't talked about, and that's the visionary Vedrfolnir. Fuck this dude's name, bro. We literally know nothing about this person other than they probably also come from Conria and are a visionary. A visionary is a leg up from an astrologer. They seem to be able to read the fate of all of Teyvat, whereas someone like Mona can just read the fate of people. And speaking of Mona, the way she phrases it, it sounds like a visionary is the one who read Fontaine's prophecy.
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist, and that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine, even that of all Teyvat. Ascertaining this is akin to reading the fortune of the whole world. I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. If I could do it, you would no longer call me an astrologist, but a visionary. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from a powerful visionary. Its contents involve the fate of the world. Disregarding it would be a mistake.
But whether or not that visionary was Vedrfolnir, dude. I mean, it probably was. Probably was Vedrfolnir that gave Fontaine their prophecies, just the way Helio told us all this information, but who knows? We don't even know if Vedrfolnir is a man or a woman. Some food for thought, because we have so little to go on. All we know is that there are two named visionaries in Teyvat, and one of them read Fontaine's fate and gave them the prophecy. I'm sure we'll learn a lot more about all these fine individuals sometimes in the far, far, far future, but until then, man. One final point regarding the truth of this world, it seems whatever that is the driving factor of the plot right now. It's been brought up by Dottore, the sibling, and Rhinedottir, and to some extent, even Nervalette. But it just makes you wonder, what is the truth? Surely it can't be as binary as humans aren't native to Teyvat, and even if that's the whole truth, so what? The reason I say it can't be as simple as that is due to the siblings' involvement of it. Why would they care? They're not even from this planet. And so all the people who know the truth, why can't you just say what the truth is? Why does everyone have to go on some sort of magical, mystical journey to find us? I'm sure it's a multifaceted truth, but I just hope it doesn't wind up in a scenario like the Blacklist, where the big thing driving the plot was the real identity of Raymond Red, and I think it's been like 8 years and they still don't know who it is. I mean, I gave up on the show after like the 4th season and they were like, I wonder who it is this time. Because like at this point, it's like anyone short of Jesus Christ of Nazareth being his real name won't make the big secret worth the 8-year wait. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, we gotta move this shit along, Hoyo. We gotta move this shit along.